Yeah, it's okay. It's not too bad. All right, let's jump in, man. Let's do it.
Uh,
I've got about an hour.
that's more than
Why are you
enough,
even
man.
awake, man? Why are you even awake?
Good question, because I have a flight to catch at 5 a.m. So I didn't plan to sleep at all, and you,
Okay,
sir,
nice.
just happened to have free time. How was your trip to
Fantastic.
Budapest?
I'm still in Budapest. Will be here for the next 3 weeks. So I've been here for a week so far.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Dude, very different. Never been this far east in Europe. I've only done the Western countries before, like the classic
Uh-huh.
England, Italy,
Uh-huh.
France, like the
Uh-huh.
normal, like white person touristy stuff. It's a lot different. I really like Budapest so far. It's a very you've been here, you were saying, haven't you?
Yes, yes, I went there.
Yeah. Like probably the most beautiful city I've been to in terms of the architecture, like all the old buildings. We're
Yeah.
right by the baths, if you know where that is.
Yeah, I know the thermal, they call it the thermal, whatever, the natural.
Yeah, that thing.
It's huge, actually.
It's that's like 2 minutes down the road. So
Amazing.
everything around it. You remember Hero Square and that park?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
dude,
too big.
beautiful.
It's way too big. I felt like it's
Dude,
underutilized.
100%, 100%. Me and James have been there maybe 5 times, and we still haven't seen the whole park. So yeah, it's a very nice city. And
Uh-huh.
are you heading to China? Is that your
No,
flight?
actually, so the company will pay for all my trip. So for Vietnam, 4 days, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and after that, probably Beijing or Shanghai. We're unsure yet. So I'm pretty lucky in that.
Wait, which company?
Uh, I oh I It's a technology company, so it's a multinational. They have headquarters in Malaysia, uh, Thailand, Hong Kong, couple of different other countries. Yeah,
Is this the Michael guy that we met on the last night?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's his company.
yeah.
Okay, so you're working with him now?
We just decided to do something together.
Okay. What are you
Uh,
doing? What was it?
uh, Deals
Is
like
it on?
I
What do you mean deals?
I the- y- y- uh, I'll say that off camera. I'll say this off camera, but yeah, it has to
Okay.
do with cryptocurrency, and
Okay. Okay.
he he sees me as a like he because during the X-Men meetup, he saw me like how I just have the balls to go up to everyone and just talk to them, and and
Is
he
that where you met
real
him?
yeah,
Oh,
and
that's where you
so
met him.
we went for lunch at least a dozen times after that. So the more we get to know each other, the more he liked me. Because today is actually my third month. I need to leave Thailand anyway. He said, "Yo,
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
pay for everything. Just come with me. I'll take you to all the meetings. Here's a shirt from the company that you can wear." So
Yeah,
just
nice.
introduce yourself as the director of whatever department. Yeah, super nice guy.
Bro, he was a very cool guy, and it was funny me, you, and James having dinner with him because we're pretty immature, but he fit in completely. But it felt like he's like that silent guy that has an energy like he's worth 100 mil or something. That's the type
Yeah.
of energy I was getting off him.
I asked him like, "Oh, what happened? You didn't talk too much during the meeting." Oh, he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was just thinking about meeting." But I know 100% that he's listening every word. That I think he's in Chinese like he's like look at that. He's like levels above us actually.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. But I thought he fit in well. Like he was cracking jokes,
Yeah,
and like we
yeah.
were being a bit immature, but he's just one of the boys. So he's a cool guy. I
Have you
liked
seen
him.
seen him? He always has a smile on his face. I've hung with so many times with him. No matter what happens, not a single time. I saw like a slight trace of like a happiness on his face. Those kind of people I'm kind of scared of because you don't know where are their boundaries, you know?
Yeah, true, true. No, so you've formed. It sounds like a pretty good relationship with him then.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. I'm going back to China to see a couple other guys as well.
Nice, nice. So your trip is what? Are you going with him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Vietnam, Hong Kong,
Mm-hmm.
then China,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then what's your plans, or just whatever
And then
happens.
I'll come back to Thailand, and yeah.
Bro, I might see you. I'll be back in Thailand most likely at the latest in November, at the earliest like September, August. So
Wow.
yeah.
How come? Like, what's your plan for the next couple of months?
So we haven't booked anything past Budapest. So we left Bangkok. That's about 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, maybe. No, about
Mhm.
two and a bit weeks ago. Went to Dubai for a week,
Mhm.
and then Dubai to Munich. We're there for a few days, and then Munich to Budapest, and we're here for a month.
Mhm.
But from Budapest, we're thinking of doing Krakow
Mhm.
and Prague. But yeah, we're not 100% sure. Might stick around in Budapest longer. We'll just play it by ear, see what's happening. But on our passport, you only get 90 days in the EU total. So we have to
Yeah,
be out by like middle of August.
gotcha. No plans of going back to Australia at all?
I'll be back in Australia in December, like for New Year's. I'm on a cruise with my family. They forced me to come on a cruise. So yeah, I'll be back then.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Where are you going back to Bangkok or where in Thailand will you go?
Bangkok. Yeah, I think most likely. I haven't been to Phuket yet, but so far, out of all the cities that I've visited, Bangkok is my favorite.
Yeah, dude, Bangkok. I have mixed feelings on. I love hate relationship.
Interesting.
I think the food is fantastic. The city is so vibrant and there's so many things to do. Like you can't get bored.
Hmm.
Unbelievably, like the cost of living versus the fun. But
Hmm.
then the downsides of it, I didn't like. I feel like you could feel the air pollution.
Yes,
Um,
same.
like I can actually like my tonsils were swelling up, and I could like. I swear that has an impact on you. That like impacted me, and I didn't like it.
Agree.
Um, um,
You know the AC
sometimes,
that I have in my room? I
yeah,
wake up every single morning with a very dry throat, dry mouth.
yes,
Either
dude,
the
that
AC
happens.
has a humidity problem, or it's the air itself. No
Yeah,
amount of
yeah.
demerit of amount of filter, like you still destroy me.
No, yeah. In both apartments we stayed in Bangkok, it was the same thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I didn't like. Um,
And also, you are more of a, I felt like monogamous serious relationship, and this is more of a red light district, you know.
oh, bro, 100%, 100%. Much more. I feel like a, almost any dude. I mean, yeah, any dude could go there, go to Nana Plaza, go to Cowboy, and just run through a million chicks if they so wanted to.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, but that's kind of all of Thailand. You could do the same in Phuket. You could do the same in Pattaya.
Mhm.
I haven't been, but from your stories of it, yeah,
But I will argue like Thai girls are generally very desirable. I find them very feminine. I like them
100%.
very much. I like them very much. Like because there are many good girls. I took them out on dates. They offer to pay. They're very appreciative. You know, they say
Yeah,
thank you
yeah,
when you open the door, when you pay the tab, when you take them out on dates, when you call them a taxi. Whereas in contrast to Western women, they're more entitled.
yeah, yeah. No, I think I've said this before. I think Thai women, if you had to rank off personalities, they would be, if not the top, close to the top.
Yes, they're more service oriented and submissive. Strangely, these are derogatory words already in the Western world, but I do think if you choose to submit to either your father or your husband, a strong figure that will protect you and provide for you, it's a win-win. Personal
No,
opinion.
100%. No, 100%. And yeah, it's interesting that the masculine feminine dynamic is still so intact in a country like Thailand, and you can see it degrading across different worlds. Um, I
Mm.
feel like just from the small experience I've had in the wiki, I feel like the more east we go, you get more polarization between the sexes as well in Europe. Um, yeah, The further out from the west you go, yeah, the more polarization you see.
I would argue is the more developed the country is, the more equality in wage, in gender wage gap, which is a myth actually. But I feel like the women are more strong and independent boss babe kind.
That's interesting, and I used to believe that, and now I think I'm thinking against it because when was the first time you went to Thailand ever? Was it years ago?
It was 5 years ago. It was easier
5 years
back then.
ago. Bro, do you not think, even in the just 5 years that you've seen it, like Thailand has exploded in the infrastructure, quality of life? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I first went there maybe 15 years ago, and the difference, like,
Mhm.
it's so clear that like they're becoming a
Huge.
first world country very quickly. They like, I feel like their reputation is still of a third world country, but it is definitely not. Even prices
I
are
agree.
coming up. Um, but I don't think in the male female dynamic it's getting less polarized. Maybe it is, and it just takes time. Like, as a city is more equal and more rich and quality of life is better. I don't know.
Have you seen the two responses? The first one is in terms of urbanization. Have you seen the blueprint for the metro lines within the next 3 to 5 years? They're building an amazing quality and quantity of new metro lines, different
In
colors,
Bangkok or
different
all
numbers.
over
In
Thailand?
Bangkok, in Bangkok,
In
all
Bangkok.
around, so many new lines. And the second thing is, I think 5 years ago it was a lot easier than today. My main hypothesis is, you're more than welcome to judge me on that, is because the birth rate of male and female are actually like very, very similar now, and also the low birth rate. They're all like signals of a more developed country.
Does Thailand have a lower birth rate now?
Yes, and that's why it's actually harder to chase girls now, because there are lesser girls and more guys than before. Supply and demand.
Dude, that's interesting. There's I don't know if we spoke about it when we were there. There's this fascinating YouTube channel called What If Alt History. Have you watched him?
What if?
What If Alt Hist? Like,
Oh, that
what
is
if
a.
alternate history?
Uh-huh. It sounds very
Dude, I'll
fascinating.
um what if alt hist? One of I always watch his videos, they put me to sleep. But I only started watching him in Bangkok. And one of his most interesting things is, the title of the video is How Degeneracy Will Kill Civilization. And it is so fascinating. It's like all the things that you think about and that you've probably heard and thought about before, and kind of what we're discussing now about like a collapsing birth rate,
Hmm.
um, and like the factors that go into it and why it happens. And so I'll give you a quick rundown of the experiment.
Uh-huh.
And it has been repeated like 30, 40, 50 times. Like, it happens every single time. The experiment is, you set up an enclosure that can house a maximum amount of, it's either rats or mice. And let's say this enclosure can support a possible 5,000 rats. Have you heard about this?
Of course, man. We are the same guy. You forgot?
Yeah. And so the
Yeah,
population increases up until it gets about 60% saturated. And
yeah,
because they have all the food, there's no predators, there's no
yeah.
stress, there's no
They
nothing.
they start to stop
It,
producing, and the population.
dude, it doesn't just go down, it collapses, and then they eradicate themselves. Like, they go to zero. Like, it entirely collapses. And you could argue that is what's playing out across the entire world. We
Mm.
have a utopia in a way. There's enough safety, not enough wars, all this stuff. And we go up, and then it just falls down like off a cliff. So yeah, I think that's interesting.
We are
Bro,
already we are already
sorry, not
seeing
to
the.
get too deep
Uh-huh. Keep going, keep going.
into it, but the more you look into it and the like changing world order and the 80 years things, I feel like something really bad is going to happen over the next 5 to 10 years, like on the scale of a world war, or Like, you know that saying, hard times create strong men create good
Good times
times
create
makes
a weak man
weak men create
create tough times, tough
tough
times
times. Yeah.
create a strong man.
I think we're at the end of one of those cycles because, yeah, I don't think, yeah, that's what I've been playing with.
Very, very interesting. It doesn't sound like a 20-year-old, like the words will come out of a 20-year-old at all, man. You, sir, you're way too deep in your depth of knowledge and insightness into the human life.
Who knows? Maybe it's all just, I don't know, dude. It seems like everyone has the same story. You travel, so you see it in all these different cities when you're talking to different travelers. Everyone's complaining about the cost of living. They can't keep up with inflation. The wealth gap between the like 0.1% is as far between as the bottom amount of people. It's like all these factors that either lead up to a civil war or a mass world war. It's like if you look back on the 1920s, 1930s Germany and all the factors that went into play of World War II, it's like it's all repeating again. And it's interesting because like we just keep going through these cycles over and over again. And it's like we're at the end of one and the beginning of another. And one of those big factors is a declining birth rate, to bring it back to what we were talking about.
I like 100% agree with you. Agree with you what you just said. Ray Dalio wrote in his principle, right? Every nation throughout the centuries, millennia, whichever the word is correct, they all go through cycles, and he would not be surprised in the slightest bit if he like crashes again.
Yeah, yeah. And it feels like we're at the end of one, but
Hmm.
who knows? Who
Interesting. I
knows?
haven't really thought deep into it, like in terms of 5 to 10 year horizon.
Mm, mm. It's just yeah, like do you want to have a big family one day?
Oh yeah, want to have at least 10 kids. I'm on the team Elon Musk.
Yeah, dude, same. But I feel
Oh,
like
high five on that.
the odds, yeah, the odds are stacked against us, brother. There's gonna be no chick that wants to be having these big families.
Uh, I would say if you're like strong alpha male, you the women would much rather share you than have a monopoly on a beta male.
Let's get controversial. What is your ideal? Let's say you're 10 years from no 15 years from now, so you're in your early 40s. What is your ideal setup in terms of family? Would you want to have multiple kids with multiple women? Do you want to have
Yes, I
one?
think that is my ideal scenario. Yeah, because it's biological, uh, near impossible for a single woman to have like more than 10 kids, unless if you go through the the science lab. You know what's the name for that? I know the name in Chinese.
The like the when you make a baby in a
Yeah, embryo. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Wait, let me Google it.
IVF, we call it IVF.
Yeah, things like that. And besides, that wouldn't provide good variety in genetics. So I would like to have different genetic composition of my babies. Sounds crazy, but I guarantee you, within 5 to 10 years, like more and more percentage of babies will be lab grown. By that I mean the babies will be uh like chose their eye color, immunity, and the proneness to certain diseases. These will all be pre-selected in the lab.
You think this will happen in the next 5 to 10 years?
In the foreseeable future, I'm not sure in terms of number of years.
Mm. I bet a country will. You know how countries kind of compete on taxes? So, like, a lot of people go to Dubai so they don't pay any income tax, or the Caribbean or Monaco or something like that.
Hmm.
I think something will happen the same with that. So, let's say a random country, let's say Taiwan, allows for selective breeding. Like you can pick what eye color,
Hmm.
how tall the baby is, all these things.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah.
country will be competitive of that, and then there'll be like if you and your wife want to have this super baby,
Hmm.
and like want to design it, you go to that country and there'll be like travel stuff like that. Because I just don't
Yeah.
think Western countries would be fast to do it, but I could see, dude, a huge ethical issue. But what we're talking about declining birth rates, I feel like they're gonna have to start making test tube babies.
Yeah. I I am really concerned about the declining birth rate. I think the human civilization might never hit the day of 100 billion, right? 100 billion? How many we have? 80 now?
No, eight. We have 8 billion
8
flat.
billion.
8 billion.
Probably will never go across 12 or 13
Yeah.
ever because we
I
will have that drop.
Yeah. And it's interesting how it will play out with like housing and yeah.
Hmm,
Dude, we live in a very fascinating time when it comes to all of this.
I
Because
agree.
I think in terms of productivity and economies, AI replaces and is a way bigger boom than any amount of
Mm-hmm.
children will be.
100%.
But I do also agree that I don't think we ever get to over 10 billion people on the planet and we actually see a sharp drop off.
Ooh, I'm
Probably
with you on that. Yes.
probably in our next lifetime. The cool thing is, and this is very interesting for people that
Uh-huh.
leaned right, like
Uh-huh.
myself and yourself,
Yeah.
is I think the people that will inherit the earth over the next few generations will be the people that more so lean towards conservative values,
Uh-huh.
and that like the people that want to have kids will inherit the earth. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
And generally the left leans more towards pleasure seeking, short term,
Hmm.
um, instant gratification, that kind of thing. Whereas I think the big trends that we're going to see over the next few decades are going to be a return to conservative values, religion,
Hmm.
the nuclear family is going to be
Of course.
very high status. If you have a family with lots of children, that will be praised big because
Yes,
of
yes.
collapsing birth rates. They're probably going to incentivize it a lot. Something interesting in Hungary, where I am now,
Uh-huh.
is it's something like if a family has over, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 children, the parents don't pay
Uh-huh.
tax anymore. They don't pay income tax. And like,
That's the
what a
case in
crazy
Russia
incentive
too.
that is. Oh, it's in Russia as well.
Of course.
See, I think that's just the beginning. So they have that in Russia.
May I expand on a couple points you just mentioned? So the first thing is you said we're in a very interesting generation. I totally agree. Who said this? I forgot, but it goes like this. We're basically born way too late to explore the Earth, but way too early to explore the galaxy. But we are just in time to witness this madness, right? And
I like that.
Brian Johnson, he said that you and me, like the teenagers now, like we might be the last generation to not live up to 200, 300 years old.
Damn.
Have you thought about that? Because
No, that is
all the
crazy to
all
think
the
about.
kids actually born after the 2020s, they're going to live 150, 200 years old because of the advancement of the technology, which is
Mm.
very likely.
Well, imagine the productivity boom when they get to AGI, so advanced general intelligence or whatever it is. Like, just once they have AI that is more intelligent than humans in multiple domains, you
Mhm.
essentially have infinite people and infinite productivity, and you can gear this army of machines towards fixing problems, like in the utopian version. And if you push that towards longevity, then yeah. Do you know what would be really sad is if we are the last generation,
Mhm.
because there's going to be a chasm. There's going to be like a breakthrough in longevity and how long you
Mhm.
can live,
Yes,
and you're
yes.
going to be on one side or the other. And I reckon we're going to be on one side of the break, where it's
Yeah.
like we'll be some of the first people to live way longer than
Yeah,
usual,
yeah, yeah.
or we're going to be some of the last people that have normalish lifespans and only live to like 80, 90, 100.
Yeah. Naval said like all his peers are probably gonna be the last generation to die naturally, which is
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, it's fascinating, dude.
I
There's
agree.
everything. You watch like Kathy Wood and Raoul Paul and stuff.
I know them, but I don't follow them.
Don't follow them. They're pretty much just investors that only invest in the big innovation
Hmm.
ideas.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
genomic sequencing, AI, blockchain, like all the breaking things. And something they always say is it's S curves feeding S curves. So it's not like AI is just going to exponentially get better
Hmm.
and it's not going to also help longevity and genomics
Yeah.
or blockchain. It's like when one gets better, it feeds another one and feeds the innovation in
Hmm.
that one, and they
Yeah.
all feed each other. So it's like this explosion in
Mm.
um, like innovation and tech and advancements. So
Mhm.
yeah, we live in a crazy time, and yeah, it'll be up to the people to like a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I give you a compliment on something completely irrelevant?
Yeah.
Do you reckon you have a very deep, soothing voice?
um, I've been told that from a few people. I in my last job before I started doing YouTube stuff and running the newsletter, my boss always used to say I have a voice for radio, which is like it's like an insult. Is normally when someone has like a nasty looking face, they're like you're not good enough for TV, but you would be on radio. But she meant it as a compliment about my voice.
Yeah,
But thank you.
earlier we mentioned that like we're the same person because we share a lot of ideologies. But for me, you're literally the Tyler Durden in the Fight Club. You're more attractive, more way more like a deeper voice, better facial structure, better life in
I don't know
general.
about them.
Uh,
I do not know
you're
about
like
that.
a better looking version of me. For you, you're probably talking to an uglier, splendid eyed, ugly dog eating motherfucker for you.
Hell no, bro. I appreciate the compliment, but I'm talking to a model here, and you're 185, was it? Yeah, you've got the height genetics, man.
Yeah.
No, dude, let me give you an off the cuff compliment because, and I said it to James so many times. I've never met anyone like you. Like you genuinely, it's a cliche compliment, but you were genuinely a one in a billion personality. And I think I have a pretty good read on when people like have a good heart or a good soul, and you are such a shining example of someone with a good heart. You just have such a charming, magnetic personality that is like, um, yeah, I'm jealous. Isn't I admire it, man. I admire it.
Oh my God, bro.
Um,
That is the
there's
best
a lot of different things,
compliment I
man.
received this decade, man. Really.
No, there's a few things I admire. I admire you are completely fearless when it comes to social settings, which I think is you've clearly worked on it for 10 years or something. Um, and it's very rare to meet someone with your level of social skills, and it's impressive and just complete fearlessness. And hanging out the 5, 6, 7 times that we did, you can see how that manifests in like the people that you meet and the crazy experiences that you have. And that's something I admire. And I think such few people possess that. Um, and yeah, you just have this charm. You're a very charismatic guy as well.
Oh my
Um,
God, bro. That literally my heart just blossomed 1,000 roses.
and then it's fascinating because I feel like we've consumed so much of the same content. We're the same age. Um, like
Hmm.
have set very like we've consumed a lot of the same content and been exposed to a lot of the same stimuli, but then we've also formed the same conclusions about the world and
Yeah, yeah.
live sort of a similar life. So that's why I think it was so fascinating.
Thanks again for the compliment. But actually, you and me, sir, in this world, we are anomalies. We're conformables. Whatever the word, we're not
I
conforming.
get you. I get you.
We
Yeah.
are social outcasts, actually. What we are talking here, if you look at the statistics, where we're outliers.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And the lifestyles that we live of moving city to city, especially at our age, and just exploring the world and racking up all these experiences, it would be a very, very, very small percentage of people that can live this type of lifestyle. So it's interesting to run into someone that has the exact same worldviews as myself and is doing the exact same thing.
User Mr. Tree, I would like to hold on to you for a couple of decades if you don't mind.
Oh, bro, we're definitely crossing paths multiple times as we cross the world. Well, what are your plans? Are you planning on doing this for a few more years, or like
Yes, I will settle down by the age of 30 and start having kids.
in what country though, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. World War III could have happened by then.
Yeah, true. Who
It's
knows?
not
We
very
might be.
practical to think that much further into the future.
I want to go back to your because I'm interested in this. You said you want to have multiple kids, 10 plus, ideally with multiple women. How do you see that logically playing out in your head? Because ideally that is cool. And I do think in my head, one of the coolest things is you could mix your genetics with someone that you love and then
Mhm,
get to see them manifest into a new human. And it would almost be a shame to only see that happen with one person. Does that make sense?
mhm.
Feel like that's a super controversial take, but it would just be cool. But in the real world, how do you even foster a situation like that? Like, it's a pretty unusual situation.
So there are two scenarios, right? One is I continue to be poor like this for the rest of my life, which is still doable. I have more than enough women lining up that are ready to start a family with me, or like just generally be want to be by my side regardless of regardless of my financial success. They genuinely like me, and I'm sure I can have a lot of women just give me kids by doing this.
Okay,
But however, the better
but
way is gaining more status, fame, and finance. In that case, the only difference is you get to save time on the test tube babies. Also, you have uh, optionality into higher echelon in in Tate word
of
or
women.
caliber tier of women. Correct.
Yeah, dude, let's get into this because this has probably plagued my mind for the last 2, maybe even 3 years. When you're on dates with girls or actively pursuing them, so let's say you're on apps or you're doing approaches or you're on a date with a chick or you're with a chick, do you get this nagging feeling in the back of your head that you should be working on your business or making money or like that this is what plagues me for ages. I feel like I have a mission to make like in the realm of 20 to 30 million and then I can focus on chicks and then I can focus on a family. And it feels like I don't know if this is a weird narrative that I tell myself, but it's like I always get those feeling that I'm wasting time when I'm with chicks because once you crack that 20, 30 mil or you've kind of like completed the game, which I would say is around that mark, is
Agree.
that's when you should focus on chicks and you'll have and I don't know if this is a complete falsehood because I don't speak to any young guys that have gotten to this point. Let's say you get to 20, 30 mil and get a bit more status or like you're a bit more well known. Do you unlock a like do these higher echelon girls, like high quality girls just spawn? Like where do they come from? But like in my head, I think that you do unlock a new level. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? Yeah.
Yo, bro, I had exact the same doubt or question or hesitation, as you will, like 5 to 7 years ago. I'm just a couple seasons ahead of you in terms of this very small niche. I had a very same question. Am I wasting time? Then I later figured out, or you could say I resolved it with myself. I reached inner peace. How I resolved this, first thing is that I think it's from Warren Buffett, is you don't save sex for old age. As males, our sex drives are the highest when like I'll say from 15 to 27, 28. Then as soon as you hit the age of 30, from the people I've spoken with, you see a you start to see the decreasement. I think I have sex with girls 4 times a night, like without any enhancement drugs, gen out of pure like passion and genuine. That is something I don't see myself doing even at the age of 35. That'll be probably too much. So
Interesting.
so
So
I
you resolved it with yourself to front load it,
and also
indulge in it.
I picked the age 30 or around that mark, plus minus a couple 6 months, because I know as soon as I reach the age of 30, I will start looking for females that are only 9 or 10, like the mother of my children, women, the type that I'll look. Do I want my daughters or my son to behave exactly like her, to be exactly like her? If the answer is yes, I will continue to date her. As simple as that. And now, at my, have you heard of that theory? Is that it's a math, it's a math question that got answered already. So if you're, let's say you're walking through a path of, I think it's a straw or whatever the plant that have different heights, what is the
Yeah.
mathematically best strategy to pick the highest one? The answer is in the first 33%, you just only take data. You don't pick anything. But as soon as you pass the 33% mark, you pick the highest one you see that is higher than the previous ones. That is the mathematical
Damn.
optimal solution.
Wait, where is this from?
I will send you later, but I'm 100
Did you say it's in the Bible?
I know it's a math question.
Oh, it's a math thing. It's like a strategy
Yeah.
to. Oh, dude, that's interesting. So you're
Yeah.
saying take the
So,
first third of your life to gather data and just
yeah, and
run
don't pick
through.
any single thing. And as soon as you pass the, I think, the 34% mark, you pick the one that is higher than all the previous one. As soon as you see one, you pick it, that one. And that is,
Damn.
of course,
Okay.
like you have to walk only one way. You cannot turn back to pick a straw or plant that is you passed already. You can only pick the previous one.
Dude, that's I love that. I love that. That's very interesting. So you're saying, assuming you live to 90, the first third of your life up to 30, you're
No,
just
no, that
gathering
is,
data.
I think it's up to, yeah, let's say 35, like different people, like 7 years, the first 7 years, because you don't date, like it'll be different. I think in the article itself, it's per 7 year period. First 7 years, only take data. The next 2/3, you pick the one you lock down as soon as you see the highest one, taller than all the previous ones.
Bro, that is I'm glad you told me that because that's a very fascinating way to look at it. And it's a very masculine, logical, rational way to think about that question. That's interesting.
Statistical optimization, yes.
Yeah. That's what the masculine energy is all about, man. Um
Also, now, so sorry to interrupt, but now you when I go on dates, I'm extremely picky as well. I have girls that show up downstairs at 7-Eleven that are ready to spend the night with me, but oh, you're just a little chubby, and sorry. Then I literally just turn around and walk away and block them on my way up. This has happened more than 5 times already downstairs at this building, which I'm not gonna name.
wait, what? What do you wait, so you've slept with the girl
No, I have
in
not.
order
They
oh,
they
you
want to
haven't.
come to me uh from most likely probably Tinder. They show up and I just say sorry to them because as Alex Hormozy said, you have two wallets, right? One is in dollars, the other one is in minutes. Guess what? You can always make more dollars, but this wallet with the minutes, you never get back a single minute.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Got to be ruthless with it. I thought you meant you've already slept with these
Oh
girls.
no, 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 I wouldn't do it.
Somehow
That's
they're at
cruel.
7-Eleven, and then you go down, meet them, block
No, no,
them on the
I have not.
way back.
I just meet them for the first
Okay.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Uh you've definitely more exposure in different cultures. You've done more travel than me, so you've dated in different areas. What nationality do you think? Give me your ranking if you
Uh,
had to go S tier, A tier, B tier.
you know that when you talk with someone, the more you talk, the less you learn. So, sir, I would like to turn this question back to you. Have you answered first?
Well, I definitely don't have as much exposure, and I feel like there's two different ways that you could approach it. You can approach it personality wise or looks wise. Should we just combine it all?
So what would you be your rank? How would you rank it?
Um, good question. How controversial do you want to be? I think we would both put chicks from. So before we put them in rankings, I think there's a strong caveat that there's always good chicks in every culture and every city. Like there's always a gem in the thing, but like just as a general sweeping thing, right? Like there's you can always find a diamond in the rough. There's good girls everywhere in
Yeah.
every thing. The typically the girls that I'm most attracted to and I think are the highest quality is somewhere. I love Europeans. I think it's super attractive when people can speak multiple languages. Um, so that normally is Europeans, and normally like Central, like girls from the region that I'm in right now, girls from Hungary, Germany, um, Eastern Eastern European chicks is like it's like known online that they're very high quality, very feminine. Um, but in practicality, when you actually speak with them and get to know them, if you've been brought up, so you were brought up in the US, I was brought up in Australia. If you were brought up in a very Western country, normally I don't know. There's a bit of like miscommunication in like your facial tones, in like the way you move, just because it's so different the way you were brought up. If you can get past that, I think it's fine. Um, so yeah, I'll be diplomatic. I'm not going to rank everyone, but my favorite is like that Eastern European kind of um, mindset mixed with the West a bit. So that gets you about Central Europe, I think, at S tier. So Hungarians, Germans, all the Nordic countries, of course, Switzerland, um, Sweden, Finland, any of those countries, I think are S tier, in my opinion.
I- I'll I would like say I'm 80% with you on that.
Okay, give me your take. Give me your take.
So my highest rank would be Eastern Europeans. The Nordic ones are also very good, but they have their cons. I made a list. You know, chart like this is a white, this is Latina, this is Southeast Asian, and they have a different column. This should be rows, different rows, right? Beauty, uh, easiness, femininity. Like age. I made a goddamn chart, which I will send you later. The pros and
Classic.
cons of each goddamn race. I made a chart.
And so and your final conclusion was that Eastern Europeans are at the top.
Yes, and the second tier
Interesting.
are Latinas and Southeast Asians. Then it's everybody else.
Mm. I'm just thinking logically, like and I definitely don't know because you were living in Moscow for a while and Ukraine as well.
For 2 months together, yes.
2 months together. So yeah, you have a lot more exposure and experience. I've only met the ones that have come to Thailand,
Mhm.
and there's tons in Thailand. But yeah, I don't know because like if you were brought up in the West and you grew up in the West, and then your initial interactions with someone from Eastern European, they're so different. Like they're so stoic in their face, and like I remember the first date I went on with a Russian girl, and I went up and gave her a hug and a kiss on the
You're the,
cheek, and she's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you
yeah,
doing?"
exactly. That has happened to
Yeah,
me too.
like just little miscommunication, things like that. And like if you extrapolate that out, I had
Uh-huh.
imagined, let's say I married a Russian chick, just her integrating with my family, I could imagine would be so like it's not impossible. And of course,
Uh-huh.
they're stunning. Slavic women are probably the most
I
beautiful in the
agree.
world.
I agree.
Um,
Oh, by the way, for any of your like moms out there, this is called preference, not racism, okay?
yeah, this is not racism, just preferences. What are you said Nordic girls have their drawbacks. What do you think are their drawbacks?
Nor, you mean, oh, they're from a very wealthy society, so you have no advantage in terms of providing resources. Also, they believe in
They're
gender
normally very
equality.
liberal as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
we literally said it at the same time, bro. They
Yeah.
they I don't like it. I don't like it. I prefer a women that a woman actually. Oh, women that support me. Let me fully embrace my masculinity, so she
Yeah.
can rest back and fully take care of the family. It's not a bad thing for you to submit to your husband. Like in contrary to most feminists believe, like it's not a pride thing to submit to your boss instead of your family.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we have come to the end of the pendulum. The thing that exactly you're
Yeah.
explaining about like the boss girl feminism, I feel like the pendulum has swung so far in that direction. But I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the clip of Trump walking into, it's kind of off tangent, but it's like similar in the like the pendulum swinging back. You saw Trump walk into UFC
Yo, bro,
and
I
it and the crowd goes fucking wild.
yo, bro,
Um,
I have the best fucking story today. It's news. I think it's fresh, right? Fresh
yeah,
out of
okay.
the oven.
Hit me with it.
Take this. So I think in whichever state in America, Philadelphia, let's say, there was a pride parade, right? Guess what? They walk into the guys who stopped them.
Wait,
The
is this a
pro-Palestinian,
Palestinian?
the pro-Palestinian. So the left versus right, left versus left. They're basically eating each
Left
other.
versus left.
It's the same scenario that happened in Europe, right? So basically, a bunch of the left pro climate change people, they stopped the Pride parade. So it's so fucking hilarious.
The left is eating themselves, man. They're eating
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah. You're from the US. What is? Do you think Trump wins in a landslide? Is that the impression you get? That's the
uh,
impression I get, but I feel like I'm a bit more disconnected from it,
I think there would be a lot of fake votes. So I don't know.
bro. If I feel like if Biden wins, there will be a civil war in the US.
Uh,
After
because
what happened last time,
the Democrats are basically doing two things. One is allow people to vote
importing
without
votes.
an ID. Yeah, the second is importing the votes, like allowing immigrants to vote even without um, proper rights, because that's how they can
Mm,
win. Pathetic.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. The good thing is if you're in the crypto space like us, in the lead up to every single US election, generally they turn on quantitative easing, start money printing, and we see all of crypto just rip upwards. So that's something to look forward to.
If we both scroll Instagram Reels, right? So in basically in Canada now, they're flooded by Indian people. Also in UK, they're flooded by Muslim people. No hate towards those two races. I'm just saying the collision of the culture. Uh, the the Canadian government and the UK government are basically they have their own, let's say, their own benefits in this, of course, by importing those immigrants at the sacrifice of all the local citizens, the grandmas, the mom and pops, the law-abiding citizens, the everyday people. I'm just saying.
Dude, yeah, and it's kind of sad that that's a controversial take, because if a minority, let's say Ghana was like enough of enough of the people migrating here, Ghana for Ghana, like this is our country, like let's make it good for the Ghanaian citizens. But if you say that about a Western country, it's like you get slammed that you're racist or I don't know, some other BS. But it's bro, it's a bit it's in every single country, even in Sydney, Australia. People my age can't afford houses because they've allowed so much unfettered immigration
A
and
lot of
like
Chinese, my kind, you could say.
a lot like from everywhere, tons of Indians,
Mhm.
Chinese, all Southeast Asia. And it's crazy, dude. What is crazy is in my hometown, I live about 45 minutes outside of like the center of Sydney.
Mhm.
If I go to a gym, like a normal commercial box gym, I'll be the only white guy in there. I'll be the only white guy. And then I'll fly across to Thailand and go to the gym. And it'll only be white people. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's so weird, man. It's weird how demographics are
Let me
shifting,
quote
and
Kanye West. In a world full of lies, telling the truth is crazy.
Yeah, bro. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. But the good thing is, I think the pendulum is swinging back. I think Trump wins in a landslide, and we start to see a return to. Bro, the crazy thing is, I'd say we both kind of leaned right in our
Yeah.
worldview and our things, but go back like 20, 30 years ago, and I'd say would be about dead center. Like, I think would be
Yes.
pretty normal takes. Just that
Yeah, we're
the
not normal
normalcy has
people. Yeah.
shifted so much.
We're not
Yeah.
very political, not extreme in the slightest bit. Have you seen that
Oh
far right
no.
parade? A bunch of like Navy SEAL looking. Basically, they wear glasses, caps, like a mask, like military masks. They're marching. Like I was thinking, why these people are fearing for their social identity. They have to fully cover themselves because the narrative.
Because the narrative and the left controls pretty much every big institution, so
Mhm.
it is a huge risk to be known to have right-leaning views. And the reason all big institutions lean towards the left is because the type of people that work and are okay in moving up a massive institution, like it'll push people with right leaning views. Like people with more right leaning views are more likely to do what me and you do. They're not as big a fan of authority and being told what to do, and they'll normally go off and do their own thing, and they won't be part of these big institutions. So the people that get promoted to the top have normally worked their way through the system. The left is much more like group mentality and groupthink. And I'm not saying either one's good or bad, but there's a reason that all the institutions, the big media, all the big social media stuff lean left. And so,
They're
yeah, it's
definitely
a
the
danger.
ones
It's a
screaming
risk
the
to lean right.
loudest.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
We're the silent majority. Although majority of us are thinking the same, but feel are standing as violent as them to get their demands meet.
100%. 100%. And ask like our grandparents or something, and that have the exact same views as we do. It's like it was just normal back then, and they wouldn't consider themselves right leaning, or it's just like it's just rational thinking. Yeah, yeah,
Let's switch the gear. What do you think? Let's talk about something more lighthearted instead of more like a political stuff.
yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it. What do you have on your mind?
Let's do say 5 to 10 minutes. Then you gotta go, right?
I do, I do. But dude, I'm down to do this again, and I want to keep in touch, and I feel like this is a good way to just like collect thoughts and keep up with each other. Maybe we should do it every 2 weeks or so.
You have no idea how much vocabularizing my thoughts into words help me to form more coherent and logical, rational thinking myself. Well, that was a one hell of a sentence I just said.
Yeah, that was a well constructed sentence. Well constructed sentence. Yeah, let's do another 10 minutes, and yeah, I've tell me what you've been like focusing on over the last week, and like what's front of mind for you.
Mm,
Are you mainly pursuing girls? Are you pursuing money? Are you switching gears, or like what's been front of your mind? Like what have you been thinking about? What are your like short term goals?
can you share yours before? Meanwhile, I think about mine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my, I have two goals normally. I'm either focusing on girls
Mm,
or being pulled back towards making money.
mm,
And ever since being in Budapest, it's definitely been on making money. I just and I try not to fight against them anymore. So it's like
mm,
probably would be a good thing to, I don't know, meet some people in Hungary and go on dates and stuff. But I just have this overwhelming feel to push forward with what we're doing with Crypto Nutshell and make more YouTube videos.
mhm.
And just because I have this feeling that the next 1 to 2 years you can make insane amount of money in crypto, and if I can capture as big a pie as possible, um, I don't know. I feel like the next 1 to 2 years will have a higher leverage on the time I put in than other periods of my life,
I
say
was
like
just
5 years
gonna
from
say
now.
the exact same thing, bro. I would literally, I swear to, I swear to myself that I was gonna tell you, bro, you are at a very, very fortunate position now. If I were you, I would like go full in on your newsletter because it's in terms of leverage. Now looking back, the in probably any successful businessman, the majority of their wealth are probably taking only 10% of the of very concentrated time.
Yeah, yeah. And for crypto, I feel like it's right now. So, yeah, the reason I have to go is tomorrow morning I have an interview. I don't know if you know him. You have to. He's not like a Michael Saylor. His name's Fred Krueger.
Mhm,
Um, he's like a mathematician, big investor in the Bitcoin space. If I can keep pumping out interviews and I can just go crazy on putting out content, and we just started ramping up our Facebook ads again.
mhm.
But something we were lazy with was with split testing our Facebook ads. If I can just be on top of that for the next 12 months, like, yeah, I feel like the sky's the limit in terms of how much money I can make. So that's been front of mind for me.
I was watching Noah Kagan and also another marketing guy. He's Indian, he's bald, he's scrawny looking.
Do they call him the Warren Buffett of?
No, but he's like the marketing on the YouTube. So basically, all both of them said Facebook advertisement is not dead. Surprisingly, they still have a very good return. It is
Yeah,
still
yeah.
the best advertisement platform because even though the privacy, the laws, the regulations makes everything harder, but it only drives other platforms. Let's say Reddit. It make those platforms worse off in comparison. Meta is actually better off.
Oh, Meta is hands down the best place to advertise, and TikTok would be second, but it's like a distant second. I've advertised on Facebook, YouTube, so Google and Twitter, and just the UI and the returns that you can get in Meta are infinitely better. And it's like anything, it's like it becomes more and more competitive, but it's just like how much work are you willing to put in? Like how many people will actually split test 10 different ad creatives every week? And it's like if you're willing to do that, you're always going to be getting a good return. But um, yeah, it's always going to get more competitive. But like that's like anything. It's like dating. It's just life in general. Things will get more competitive. It's just will you
There
put the
will
work
always
in
be
to it?
18 years old. When I get rejections, I used to tell myself every single day, hundreds of thousands of girls just turned into 18, bro. What are you worrying about?
Yeah, dude. See, that's the abundance mindset that you've cultivated. It's good. It's good.
Also, Sam Parwood, when he was running the hostel, he said one of his biggest regrets is that back in the golden era of Facebook ads, he he knew like if he would put in $1, he would get $2 or $5 back. He should have just like get a truckload of cash and just dump all that cash into that
Yeah,
machine
dump
because
it
he
on that
spit out.
fire. Yeah,
Y-
yeah.
Will you
And
promise me that you'll do that?
I will, dude.
Okay, don't let
I'll
me
do
down.
that. I won't let you down. Yeah. So that's my main goal. I want to sell. The goal with crypto nutshell is to sell it for like 20 to 30 mil within a few years, and to do that would need like it's not even that crazy. So we're over 60,000 subs now. It's like if you got it to 500,000 and then got a decent YouTube as well to run parallel with that, like it's not out of the Milk Road got acquired for around 10 mil at 250,000 subs, and it's like I don't know, like it's just low effort. You can acquire a sub on Facebook for about $2. If you can then, I don't know if the buyers of Milk Road just got fleeced and if it is accurate that they sold it for about 10 mil, but that means every sub was ended up being worth 40 US dollars and they were crying it for $2. Is that not just the money printer that you just mentioned? It's like if you can turn a $2 subscriber and then sell it later down the road for 40 bucks, it's like, and it won't be around forever. You won't be able to acquire a high quality
Mhm.
subscriber for $2 forever. So yeah.
Jamie, I hate to be the party pooper. I hate to be the negative energy. But as your dear friend, I felt like I'm kind of obliged to say this. Hope you don't like get offended or angry by me.
What?
So there is a risk of let's say someday there will be an AI generated crypto newsletter that's
Oh,
more
dude,
personalized.
100% there will be.
That that that
1,000.
that is a risk on the horizon that's coming your way.
No, 100% that is. But I could also say that for anything. Like anyone with a job, there's an AI. But a newsletter is like a grand picking for it, and there will 100% be one. But it's like if I'm in the space and I know it the best, then why can't I be the one that has that AI newsletter? You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like why can't I be at the forefront of it, and why can't I be the one controlling it? So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
It all comes down to data, right? So I hope you are keeping a very plentiful, luxurious amount of data of your viewers.
Yeah, yeah. Always getting data, dude. Data's the new oil, as they say. But
Yep.
tell me about you. What's front of mind for you? Is it girls? Is it traveling? Is it more experiences? Is it money now with Michael, or
I don't know actually. Yeah, I don't have
just living one day to another?
uh can I share with you when I felt like those things are ready to be shared, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you. Working behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Um, what have you been doing in Bangkok since we've been gone? Lots of dates, buffets.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually I I want to say once I achieved it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to give myself the pleasure of getting the validation before I actually achieve it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. I like that attitude. I like that attitude.
Yo, bro, it
Yeah.
was we just hit the 1 hour mark. I hate to like waste more of your time, and I need to start packing for the airport.
No, never wasted, man. Never wasted. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk again soon and catch up again. And
I, I
yeah,
I think we both used a very clear vocabulary in this podcast. Even with my little accent, I think the AI will pick up every single word we said. In the future, this will be very good AI training data.
true,
Once
true,
we
very
cross the
true.
100 episode, it'll basically be two AI talking to each other by
Yeah,
then.
true. They'll just know. They'll just know what we would say anyway.
Yeah, basically it will just have the news. Oh, this is exactly how you would think about it. This is how you exactly Jamie would think. Let me just
Yeah,
make an AI
and this
podcast.
is how that interact. Yeah,
And all the audiences will use the AI to summarize the video.
yeah,
Yeah.
and just give them the highlights. I love it. I love
And,
it.
uh,
Well, man, it was good talking to you. How long until your flight?
I'm 2 hours. I'm leaving. Less than 2 hours. I'm leaving my place.
Damn. Okay. Are you coming back to this place, or you've actually got to pack everything and you're going?
I'm coming back to this place. And
Okay.
actually, if you're free in 2 weeks, and I will write some of my thoughts, topics I want to chat about in a shared Google Doc. I hope we'll continue this.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. It's good, and it helps. Like if you don't speak on a long form type of thing, it's hard to put together sentences, and like it's very good practice just getting what you're thinking into coherent words that are summed up nicely. Yeah, it's good practice. It's very good
I
practice.
need
So
a lot to improve on my eloquency as well. Also, in the future, only two sources of content will survive. One is extremely short, dopamine hit. One is extremely long content.
oh, 100%, 100%. It'll be one of those two extremes. Cool. Well, Eugene, I wish you a safe flight. You're going to Vietnam, right?
Hmm.
Vietnam first. Hope Vietnam's good, then Hong Kong, then China. We'll talk again in 2 weeks, man. But it's been a pleasure.
I hope by the next time we talk, you have achieved some sort of a structure or field plan for your A/B testing on the Facebook.
True. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hopefully, I've just gone hard. I've interviewed a few people, put out some content, split test some ads, just all the boring work.
And just have a hot Slavic blondie casually walk behind you when we're zooming.
Yeah,
Hey, yo, what
that'll
up,
be the
bro?
truth. Yeah, that's goals for the next one. And I expect at least 3 or 4. Oh no, where will you be in 2 weeks? You'll be back in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah, bro. The
I want to
past
see
hour
your.
was literally the best hour of my week.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, this was fantastic, dude. This is
I
fantastic.
haven't spoke with someone such high caliber of intelligence since last time we spoke, man.
Bro, you must be you must be in a mental hospital then or something.
No,
I am not a very high bar, bro. I'm not a very high bar.
I
You're
believe
much
in
higher bar
brutal
than me.
honesty, bro. I'm really not bullshitting you, bro.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the compliment.
I'm not trying to get into your pants, so you can believe like I don't want, you don't have that kind
Uh,
of thing to offer.
not yet, bro. Not yet.
All right, bro.
uh, all right,
Tomorrow you
bro.
have
I'll
a day,
speak to you
right?
in
Don't forget to give yourself a little trim.
for sure, for sure.
Okay.
All right, bro. It's been good. I'll speak to you in 2 weeks' time. Have a safe flight.
You too. Bye.
All right, peace.